Right.
I believe in competition without malice. I believe if you good, we should be able to compete.
I took it without malice.
Not you specifically.
Absolutely.
But this is something that I've always been trying to spread to MCs. You don't have to hate the man in order to go at his head and want to get him out of here.
That's been proven.
That's how it should be. Like, especially since your competition should be the top of the food chain. You shouldn't be aiming for undermath if you're a battle
feeling like
rapper.
you dissed me on the record that
I
we
couldn't
did.
believe that shit either, because you know what? No lie. All I did on that record was follow the rhyme pattern you used.
No, but it was what you said.
You ain't lived till you made your first million. And top models want to swallow your children.
So I get on there, I go first. I say, you ain't lived till you caught a licking boogie or made a chick eat another chick pussy. Now Meth comes on, you ain't lived till you made your first million.
And top models want to swallow your children.
Yeah,
I
okay.
told you Wu-Tang was for the children.
Me is like, yo, hold up.
But then it's I thought I told you Wu-Tang was for the children way before rap moving crack in your buildings.
Yeah.
So he did.
So it's like he bringing it
You did cannabis.
I should, but in that moment, I wasn't dealing with a battle rap. I was dealing with an MC. I wasn't, but you was thinking battle rap, entendres, and things of that nature. I was just trying to keep up.
When I first got the verse, I sat there for a little while. I was like, one, yo, I got a verse for Method Man.
Dope.
That's fine.
Dope.
Two, I think he's dissing me. And three, I'm still gonna put this out.
Right.
So fuck it. I'm gonna smile, throwing this hoodie,
That's great.
Came through, shot the video.
Yeah, fact.
That's why I met
Yo, I wish we had shot a different video for that, man.
Well, I mean, in hindsight and shit.
In hindsight,
it's
I was
always gonna be
trying
like
and
that.
shit.
But the moment,
I had shirtless hoodies and shit, man.
it was a great fucking moment, man.
Yeah, it was.
I met Cortez.
Yeah.
I met fucking DNA.
Right.
Young DNA.
Young DNA.
I met Eric. I met Young DNA.
Yeah, Eric's.
No,
Right.
for real. Like, and I wasn't even familiar with DNA, but I knew who Meth was. I knew who Cortez was. I had just seen one of his battles and shit. And I had asked their opinion who they thought was the dopest nigga. Hollow the Don, right? So I started watching all the Hollow.
Who told you that?
Y'all did.
And you ended up battling him.
You know, sometimes you do things for people that wouldn't do the same for you.
And then the subject of bill collector came up.
That's BC.
That's crazy.
That's my
That's
nigga, yo.
And at first it was like, it took them to make me understand, because I went back and looked at him again and was like, this nigga is fire. I didn't get it at first.
Right.
But I was still young in the ears listening to this transition from what, you know, Poison Pen and them niggas or the Lions Den was doing and Sub-Zero and all that shit was doing.
Free.
Right.
And it was, I just know that, and I'm about to give up my shit right now, but in that moment was when my hand got hot again. Really hot. Watching these dudes, watching their battles and shit like that, and I was
You felt like you lost it for a second?
No, I was just saying there's no place for lyricism anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
And I was like, these guys are doing
It was moving
exactly
into the trap
what
era.
I love. So fuck it. Now that I know that there's an audience there, I don't care if nobody else is listening. Let's see if they are. That's dope.
Have you ever
Fucking
felt like
dope.
you lost it?
Yeah. I'm telling you, there was a whole era where I was doing 4 fucking projects. My own, Wu-Tang, me and Redman, and then the occasional Swarm, Killer Bee, you know what I mean? Shit like that.
Affiliates.
Right. And I was jotting. It was at a point where I hated the fucking studio. I hated writing in the studio, all that shit, because it was like I felt like I was on a clock. And Redman, the beat, I didn't go up in the booth.
Boom.
10 minutes. And the shit be fire.
One of my top 3 favorite all-time MCs.
Yeah, that nigga.
Ever in life.
Yo,
Yeah, shout out to Red, man. Shout out to Red.
and that was a
man.
lot, just being with him. And, you know, he older than me by a year, too. Big bro. Taught me a lot of shit. A lot of shit about. And he would do it in slick ways, too, because we used to go out and do shows. And, I mean, as soon as I come out on stage, I would jump in the crowd. I take all the energy out the room, because there's a lot of people that can't even fucking see you now. And he's standing up on stage, and he's like, well, what the fuck I'm supposed to do? Why you down in the fucking crowd and shit, you know? So he did it in a slick way. We were on a tour bus. He was like, yo, come check this shit out right here. Run DMC. They were performing live. And he was like, you see how these motherfuckers? He was like, watch this part right here. And I remember because D was like, yo. Ron was saying to D, he was like, hey, yo, D, what's that on your head? That's my black hat. Mess around, you get capped. He was like, D, what's that on your back? That's my black shirt. Fuck around, you get hurt. I'm not doing this verbatim, but you know.
Right.
Like, D, what's that right there? That's my black belt. I take it off, give you welts. D, what's that? Black pants. Fuck around, I get a chance with. And D, what the fuck are those? My Adidas. Crowd was going crazy before he even said Adidas. I was like, yeah, Red is right. I'm gonna stop doing this dumb shit. Get my shit together, right? There you go. Shout out. Get my shit together. And even with slowing
Part of your
down.
religion, bro?
And even with slowing down my cadence enough where it's like, I can't get away with just jotting anymore. I'm like, coming behind this dude, I can't get it. But there was a moment where it was like, I was just jotting. I didn't even want to be in the studio. It was like quick bars. None of it was like concurrent sentences. None of that shit. It was just a bunch of wild and crazy thoughts all thrown on paper. It didn't work for me. People was like, he the worst one in the Wu-Tang. Meth has so much potential. Mr. Go back to where he once belonged.
You heard what he said?
All that shit.
You heard what he said? Who are the people that was saying that?
No, it was...
Because you said that on the first time you came on the show that you felt like you was the wackest in Wu-Tang. I'm like, what?
I remember reading Ego Trip, which I respected, and a magazine which I respected. And they had a lot of opinions that I agreed with, you know? And it was one thing in there, they were talking about rappers with potential that never, or rappers... I just know that with Method Man, it was like, they called me Mr. Potential. And he said, it gave like some synopsis, but the shit that I remember, because I put it in the rhyme, was get back to where you once belonged. And that right there was like, you know what? They right, because I used to love sitting down and writing. Now it became a job to me. It was like every time I turned around was another record. I mean, I didn't get a summer or a vacation because we would record these albums during the summer and be touring at the same time.
Yeah.
When I did my first album, Wu-Tang was on tour promoting Into the 36 Chambers. But Def Jam wanted their fucking record.
Right.
Now the only thing that fucked that shit up, because I had records, RZA had a flood in his house.
They killed his ride.
Everything. So I'm making, regardless of how people feel about my first album, if they knew the process that it went through to go through, that I went through to make that motherfucker, that's a 5 mic one easily. It's like somebody losing all their music 5 minutes before they got a show, and they improv the rest of the shit and still kill the fucking show.
That's crazy.
For real. I'm talking, we were on the road, no data, none of that shit. RZA had to remake beats and shit like that, and when we would leave the stage and these dudes was going doing they 1 2 1 2 after, you know, well known now, I was in the studio. Right after that, I go right in the studio and I'm in there till like 3, 4 in the morning, but we got radio at 6. That kind of shit. But for me, it never hit me in my head that this is too much, because before that, I was hustling in the same spot every day.
Right.
In the same fucking spot, this same fucking little fucking area right here. Watching niggas get bagged there every day, hoping it ain't my day to day.
Right.
Niggas getting shot there, standing right there with one just whistle right by your ass, and you say, okay, I was lucky that day kind of shit, and not even thinking about it. This destructive ass behavior that we were fucking, I can't even find the words for that shit.
Hypnotized.
Well, not even
bred into.
Where we've been acclimated. Acclimated to a point where niggas will hear one gunshot, niggas won't flinch. But if 2, 3, 4 come behind that, now it's like, okay, where that shit coming
what's that?
from?
Right. Identify.
That's just us. Niggas, one thing that Joey noticed that Fat Joe did, and I told him it's some street shit. Every time somebody came through that door, Joe was like this.
Yeah, he was looking.
Every time.
Yeah.
When they was first coming around doing interviews with us on the block and shit, it was like I never looked at nobody when I was on the block. It was like I was always like this.
Looking up?
Because it's either cops or customers.
Yeah.
Either or, cops or customers. And you talking to the nigga right here and shit, but it's more or less like this. You never turn your back to the fucking street.
Wow.
Ever. Not in them areas.
Not talking on camera.
So the idea of getting away from that,
I was
being in the studio till 3 in the morning.
I had only been on a plane once before Wu-Tang. Once. And when we flew to Cali, I had never been to California. This was my first time in Cali. We stayed at that shitty ass Roosevelt Hotel and all that shit.
What was that Cali weed experience like the first time?
We didn't get any. We didn't get any at first. I mean, that first little shit, when we were staying there, we went to the Glam Slam Princess Club out there. It was a very famous club and shit. Stood outside, never got in. Whole crew. Wow. By the time we did get in though, oh, come on. It was like awesome. The fat boys getting in the fever, my nigga. Like, yeah, we popping down. What's happening? I'm in the Glam Slam, what's good? Yeah. That matter of fact, that picture of me and Fat Lip. That was in the Glam Slam.
Wow.
I remember that.
I met Curtis Blow that night too. Kurt Blow, and I always gave Curtis fucking love. Always gave Curtis love. I got a million stories, you know that shit. I gotta use the bathroom now. I gotta pay the water bill.
All right, we're gonna take a break.
It's Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.